Dr. Joe Dispenza, what's happening? What are we talking about tonight? What people get wrong about gratitude. Let's go.
I want to talk about gratitude. What do most people get wrong when it comes to a gratitude practice?
Get wrong, huh? Well, if you think about it, when you receive something favorable or just receive something favorable, if something wonderful is happening to you or something wonderful just happened to you, the feeling that's created from that experience is called gratitude. So the emotional signature of gratitude means something wonderful is happening to you or something wonderful has just happened to you. And gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. It's the ultimate state. So yeah, you can practice with a gratitude journal and write down the things in your life that you're grateful for. And I think that has a really great reminder to manage your attention and to manage your energy. But by the same means, can you be grateful for things that you haven't had yet, but you believe enough that you can have? Now,
So, gratitude is the emotion that the body feels when you receive something good. So, Dr. Joe talks about the brain being a chemistry lab. When it gets different signals from the body or from the five senses, sight, taste, smell, hear, touch, then it'll come up with a concoction of chemicals so that you can experience emotions. And that's what happens when you experience a good situation, or someone gives you something good. Your brain just fires off all these chemicals, making you feel really happy and at peace, which is gratitude. But what Dr. Joe is about to talk about is, can we experience that same process for being grateful for things that we haven't got yet? Meaning, can we feel as though we're in the future? Say we reach the goal of, or we have a goal of graduating or getting a new career or starting a new business or becoming financially free, and we're not there yet. But is it possible for the brain to release those exact same chemicals of gratitude via us just imagining or visualizing that that experience has occurred? What do you say about that, Dr. Joe?
we only accept, believe, and surrender to thoughts that are equal to our emotional state. We'll never accept, believe, and surrender to thoughts that are not equal to our emotional state. So if you're feeling really unhappy and you're feeling really negatively and you're thinking positively, the thought of thinking positively never makes it past the brainstem to get to the body because the body is feeling miserable. The positive thought never changes the biology. Okay, so people accept, believe in, and surrender information equals their emotional state. You watch something on a program and you get fear. The information that comes in after that fear, you're going to accept. You get a diagnosis. The doctor says you got this amount of time to live and you're in that state. That information is going to go right into your subconscious mind because that information is equal to the emotional state that you're in. Make sense? So you can't think positively as I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm free, I'm unlimited, and your body's going, no, you're not, dude. You're miserable. So the thought never makes it to the body. Okay. So that means then we would have to change the emotional state of the body. And we're doing research on this, really fascinating research on this now. So the person then wants to accept, believe, and surrender to thoughts of their future, and they want to reprogram their subconscious mind to a new future. If they're feeling gratitude, and gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving, they will actually accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts that they're thinking equal to that emotional state. And that's exactly what programs the autonomic nervous system to begin to make a pharmacy of chemicals that causes the body to move into restoration, growth, and repair, and a lot of immune function. So we took a group of people in a study.
So far, the answer is looking like yes. When you visualize something in the future and you experience that grateful state, then your brain will concoct a mixture of chemicals that is related or connected to that state that you're thinking about. So we can live in a state of gratitude even though we haven't realized that experience.
And we measured their cortisol levels. We measured an immunoglobulin called IgA, immunoglobulin A. It's your body's natural defense. It's the body's flu shot. In fact, it works better than any flu shot. And so as cortisol levels go up, IgA levels go down, because if you're in an emergency, your immune system's compromised. If all your energy is going to the outer world, and you have no energy in your inner world, you're going to be unhealthy, and the internal protection system kind of closes down. Okay, so 4 days of changing their emotions from resentment and judgment and frustration and impatience to gratitude and appreciation. 4 days. And we measured their hearts, because when you're frustrated and you're impatient and you're judgmental, your heart beats very differently than when you're grateful. Well, when you're grateful, your heart starts to beat in a more rhythmic way. And there's a couple pathways where oxytocin signals nitric oxide, and nitric oxide signals another chemical that causes the arteries in your heart literally to swell, to open up. And so when you actually feel gratitude, there's a physiological component that takes place where your heart feels full. And when energy or blood makes it to the heart and energy makes it to the heart, it's a different consciousness, right?
How amazing is that, eh? How awesome is the human body? Like he's talking about your heart opening when you're in the state of gratitude. There's a chain reaction of chemicals stemming from the brain and released right throughout your body. Have you ever seen one of those movies, probably like Ocean 11, where they show, I don't know, the igniting of dynamite or the click of the lighter or the source of the flame? It ignites the cord, the string, and then it goes down that long shot, all in slow motion, and travels all the way through the chamber till it gets to the actual explosive, and then it shows the clock that has counted down to 0, and then it triggers, and then you see all the mechanisms within the explosive device, and then it explodes. It sounds like that's what happens in your brain, not only when you're grateful, when you experience other emotions, but if you can just imagine a process igniting, starting from within your brain system, going right throughout your body, and then just exploding. And in this case, it's an explosion of gratitude, causing your heart to open, like the vessels in your heart's chambers, or the veins that are circulating the blood around opens wider, and your heart releases more oxygenated blood in a rhythmic pattern. That's amazing. Who invented this heart?
It's a different level of awareness than when you're feeling resentful or you're feeling impatient. So feel the emotion of gratitude and open your heart, keep activating that center. We discovered that when a person feels that emotion and they do it for 4 days, their IgA levels went up 50% just in 4 days. So there's a robust immune response that takes place by just changing from those limited emotions to more elevated emotions. So we saw that when the person's feeling gratitude, and their heart goes from kind of a very incoherent state to a more regulated and organized state, that once energy makes it to the heart, as I said earlier, somehow it begins to move to the brain. And if you were to imagine like grabbing a big sheet and going like this, it's almost like the heart is causing this beautiful pattern of energy move into the brain, causes the brain to move in these beautiful alpha brainwave states. That is that state of imagination. So
that's the brain and the heart in unison. So you have our experience, the brain pharmacy of chemicals comes up with a concoction, releases it throughout the body, gets to the heart, then the heart opens up, sends back a wave of, like on the rebound, of all these powerful physiological occurrences in your body back to the brain. So it's a cycle between your brain and your heart. Just having this wave of emotion, just like I suppose a Mexican wave, if you ever witnessed that at a sports game in the stadium where it just goes around. And eventually you'll run out of energy because you're just like, wow, that was an awesome experience. And then you can bring up that experience and set off your own wave again every time you remember that experience. Or you can visualize a future experience and how that would feel. And you can set off that wave pattern again.
I think when we're grateful, those social networks turn on where we want to connect. I think we have more appreciation for the moment, and I think we're more prone to give, which actually releases more oxytocin, which releases more nitric oxide, and causes us to feel even better. So we teach people then to feel grateful for things that they haven't had yet, as well as the things that they have in their life, and it tends to produce profound changes in their biology.
Tactically, what are the cues that you're giving to people? There will be people that are listening now that think, I have a gratitude practice, or I've seen the results from existing research, positive psychology. Gratitude seems to be one of the most robust ways to improve your baseline level of happiness, completely free, cost-free.
Yeah.
What are the...
So listen to that. Gratitude, the state of being grateful, can change you. So if you want to move into a better space mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, practice being grateful. And it's a simple, like Chris was saying, it's a simple process because it's free. You can just sit there and think about all the good things that are in your life, all the good people, places, and things that you have, who you know, where you go. And then your brain starts to change that way. So if you're on a negative vibe at any time during your day, week, life, just count all the good things in your life. And that'll get you back on the positive path, but it'll change you. The more you do that practice, you'll move away from being sad, depressed, negative, to being happy and upbeat and positive.
most powerful elements of a gratitude practice? What are the triggers? What are the tactics? What are the way markers that you're saying this is something that you should be really focused on when it comes to your gratitude practice?
Yeah, I think the first step is changing your physiology. I think there's levels of gratitude that you could feel, but you have to stop feeling other things first in order to feel it. So it's not I don't think it's enough, and I'm just saying this for myself. It's not enough for me to feel gratitude for 5 minutes and then spend the rest of my day feeling miserable.
I mentioned it on another video where before you get to a positive state, one stage before that is neutral, and the stage before neutral can be negative. So rather than going from negative straight to positive, you can remove whatever is negative in your thinking, in your mind, even if it's an actual physical object that's making you feel negative, like a broken phone. Then replace it, or come up with a plan. If you can't afford to replace a broken phone, come up with a plan, a strategy, so that you can get another phone. So as soon as you move from looking at the negative experience of a broken phone, come up with a plan. Remove that negative thinking by coming up with a plan to get another phone. And then once you've settled yourself, you'll be in a neutral state. And then when you're in that neutral state of thinking, say, okay, I've got a plan, and then I'm going to get another phone. And then you can add something onto that, like, I'm grateful that it's only a broken phone. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to come up with a plan to get money or to get credit to get another phone. So can you see how you went from negative, changed it to neutral, and then turned it into being positive? And then what Dr. Joe is talking about now, you can't just do it for that instant. You have to keep on, like it can't just last 2 minutes, you being in the positive state. You have to keep reconfirming that positive mentality. So during the day, you might slip back to, oh, my bloody phone's broken, and now it's going to take me a month to save up for another one, or 3 months. Go back to the strategy that you've come up with to get another phone. Go back to being grateful that you have the opportunity, you have the means, you have a way to get a new phone, and keep reiterating that positive, grateful mentality or mindset.
That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to sustain that state for an extended period of time. I want to get really good at doing it with my eyes open. So I believe that if I'm walking around in a state of gratitude with my eyes open, and I can sustain that state for an extended period of time, there should be opportunities coming to me as the result of my change in energy, right? So I make the effort in the experiment, okay, because this is an experiment. I make the effort in the experiment that if I can stay in this great state of gratitude, that I should see something unusual come to me as a result of it. That's why I do it. So that means that you have to, we're hypnotized and we're conditioned to believe that something out there has to change in order to take away the lack of separation of not having it inside of me. Gratitude kind of fills that lack. And so if you're not waiting for your life to change to feel that emotion, you're actually saying, if I generate gratitude, I actually heal. If I generate gratitude, I should create this in my life. So I just like to use it in a way that tends to be more creative and not just be grateful for the things that I have. I think that has a lot of great biological effects. But as the creator in your life, to shorten the distance between the thought of what you want and the experience of having it without having to do a whole lot, I think gratitude is that perfect state of receivership.
That's perfect. So another New York Times best-selling author, Dr. Ben, somebody, can't remember his name at the moment, but he wrote a book called 10x is easier than 2x, meaning like multiplying your life by 10 times rather than 2, it's easier. 10x is easier than 2x. And he talks about a similar thing, like Dr. Joe was just speaking about lack. You know, in the negative state, you might go back to feeling you're lacking the phone or the phone's broken. So you feel that sense of negativity. You're living in lack. Or what the other doctor talked about, the 10x guy, is you're living in the gap. What you want to do is live in the gain. in the state where you've got the new phone and be grateful for that. Also, Dr. Joe just brought up another great point. It's been proven that the energy that we have as humans, it's electrical field. That's what the current is that runs through us. It's electrical. And it can be detected from each human body to a distance of 1.8 meters or 6 feet radius around your body. So people can actually feel your energy because it's like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, where your body via your heart is sending out electrical waves um, to the space around you. So Dr. Joe is saying that if your energy is positive, and then everyone else's energy or the energy around you is emitting whatever experience or emotions they're feeling, he's saying you as the beacon of positivity should also not only attract but match. You should be able to sync to other positive electrical waves. And that will bring whatever you're trying to get, in this case, the replacing the broken mobile phone. You'll send out that energy, and you might read things online or bump into a person that will help encourage you or help you find a pathway or help you confirm the strategy that you have to get a new phone. So you just live in that energy and wait until your electrical waves picks up someone else's or someone else picks up on your waves, and then you'll be able to fulfill that dream. So we're going to leave it there for this video. Once again, thank you, life. You are my who. The purpose of life is to create more life. Life is the be all and end all. And we do all of this so that we all can have a better life together.